it's not about rushing towards it. It's about allowing it to come to you. It's about aligning yourself and doing all of the work so it comes to you, it presents itself, and you are then able to continue on with it. Hello, friend. I just wanted to hop on very quickly to just kind of touch base on something, which is knowing when to start. And this can be starting anything that you feel called to do, feeling drawn to do. Or I've been in this place of trying to create a lot of different things. I am building my online coaching business. I have my blog at Dawning Perspective. I have this new podcast that we're now a couple episodes in, and I'm just enjoying this process. But aside from this, I've also been continuing my personal development, education, and my growth and my spiritual awakening. And recently I started my practice with Reiki therapy, and I'm finding that as I'm doing all of these things and I'm continuing to do more, I'm finding that I'm having these moments of struggle where it's almost like I don't know where to start within that beginning. And what I mean by that is, for this podcast, for example, I find that as I start to record a new episode, all of a sudden I have all of these tangents that I start going on of like, oh, I'm sharing this one thing, but oh my God, yeah, there's this other thing that's kind of related to it. So let's go down that path for a bit. Actually, let's go ahead and like circle back and keep going down the original path. Oh no, there's another tangent. Let's go this way. And it's just, I'm finding that I'm all over the place. And at first, it was bugging me because it's like, how am I ever going to get this right? How is anyone going to understand anything that I'm saying? How can I connect with someone else when it doesn't feel like I'm connecting with myself? And something that I realized is that it's not that I'm not connecting with myself or anything like that. It's just I'm trying to carry myself, my entire being, and just everything about me in a single moment, and there's just no possible way to do that. And so I'm curious if you take a second and you just think about this, it's like when you have such an amazing experience and like you're just trying to share your takeaways and like you don't know where to start, or like while you're talking you feel the need to continue expounding on one thing in order to further explain like the level and the depth that is that entire experience. Like, actually no, it's reminding me of last Thanksgiving. I returned home, and when I say home, it was like where my aunts, uncles, cousins are, and I ended up like sitting down with one of my cousins who had just gone on his first trip out of the country, and he went to Japan, somewhere that he's been drawn to going. And I remember sitting there and talking with him and asking him these questions, and like I could see like he was struggling to find the words to explain this feeling and this experience that is just he couldn't talk about it. And like I resonated so much with that because I feel like that was my experience when I first went to China, or like going to the Grand Canyon, or going to South Korea, like going to these places that I've just felt called to go, and like experiencing these places with completely different people, forming new relationships, expanding my understanding of what is possible in this life and in this reality. And then returning back to somewhere that you've always known, so changed, and yet you look the same, and like people interact with you the way that they always have, but it's like you're now different, and like how do you explain that? Yeah, but I was so resonating with him where it's like and I was like, dude, like I know you're talking about where you've had this crazy life altering event, but like you don't, oops, sorry, I just hit something, where like you had this crazy large life changing event, and you want to share it with the world, but then you can't share it with words. And yeah, like I feel like that's happening now. And as I'm starting this podcast and recording episodes, I'm just like word vomiting and experience like vomiting. Like I literally have no other word. Excuse the imagery of it, but yeah, where there's so much that I've been holding on to within myself. And now that I'm being called to share all of it, everything just wants to come out at once. And so that's where, with this episode, just thinking about it, with like knowing where to start, because I feel like there are always new beginnings, but then oftentimes these beginnings can happen in the middle of like everything that we have going on, to where like by the time that like we know that it's time to start something, like we've been thinking about it, we've been sitting with it, we've been experiencing it before it's been actualized. That's part of what manifestation is. It's where you're able to experience and accept a reality so fully and align with that frequency and that vibration before it's even like actually in your life, because that's how you draw it to you. So as you're aligning and you're up leveling and you get to this frequency that matches what you want and you're already living it, by the time that it comes to you, it's almost like, oh my gosh, I have all of this stuff stored up and like now is the time to let it all out. And then it's like, what to do with it though? So, anyways, what I want to say is all you have is the present, all you have is the now. Yes, you've been calling everything to you. And when it's time to start, yeah, you're going to know. But then part of that too is once you do begin and you start taking the active steps within that opportunity, continue to trust that you know where to start. Continue to trust and intuitively discern what are the pieces that are meant to come out and how are they meant to come out. Maybe it's meant to come out with some tangents attached to it. And then other times, though, it's also thinking, are you getting ahead of yourself? Are you getting too excited? And are you trying to rush now that the opportunity is there? Things come to us when they are meant to come. Same as when the initial opportunity approaches. It's not about rushing towards it. It's about allowing it to come to you. It's about aligning yourself and doing all of the work so it comes to you, it presents itself, and you are then able to continue on with it. That continues after you've entered into the opportunity. There's no need to rush. You're on the correct timeline as it is meant to be. Trust in yourself. Trust in your guides. And always carry your quiet confidence. When you do feel overwhelmed and like you don't know what's going on, take a second and hit pause. Step back for a moment. It could be that you're getting caught up in the moment or getting caught up in different varying beliefs or pressures or expectations. If that's the case, then just take a second, work through it, recognize that it is there, see how it is affecting your life and your current decisions. Give it some love and let it go, because you don't need that to complete what you are meant to do. If you take the time to recognize it and love it, and then return to the task at hand, you'll most likely, more often than not, you will come back with clarity that you know what is the next step to take. So yeah, once you start, there is no need to rush. You arrive when you are meant to. So trust the path and walk it with awareness and with mindfulness. Take every experience as it presents itself, and you will continue to unfold it the way that it is meant to be. So think about an opportunity that has recently presented itself to you. Are you rushing with it? Or are you taking every step with awareness? You have everything you need in order to make it a success. Let me repeat that. You have everything you need to make it a success. It would not be presenting itself to you if you did not. There is a specific lesson and a specific action for you to take with it. Trust in your quiet confidence that you know the correct direction. Ask for guidance if you feel lost. Take a deep breath. Take some time to yourself. And when you have a clear mind, reapproach and continue on your path. So that is everything that I have to share on this topic today. I wish you well on your journey and on your path as it continues to unfold. Embrace it and embrace yourself along the way. Give love around you as you take it within as well. I would love to hear any experiences that you currently have of new opportunities and new beginnings where you're actually starting in the middle maybe and carrying it out from there. I don't know. There are no rules when it comes to creation and when it comes to building things, creating things, engaging. And I would love to hear about everything that you have going on for you. So I would love to hear from you if you'd like to connect with me. You can find me on Instagram at Dawning Perspective. You can find me on the blog at dawningperspective.com. Also there, I provide my coaching services. So if you would like to have a one-on-one consultation, you can go there. Otherwise, you can also leave a review for this podcast. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, I hope all is well with you and yours. Bye.